Benvenuti alle conversazioni e bentornati a Writers on Writers. Gli ospiti di questa settimana sono Oliver Stone, che ha scelto un brano di Mary Oliver, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, che ha scelto un brano di Turgenev, e Martin Amis, che ha scelto invece un brano di Primo Levi. Alla fine della puntata ho scelto un brano da leggere dalla prigioniera, cioè dalla ricerca del tempo perduto di Proust.
Mary Oliver, A Visitor. My father, for example, who was young once and blue-eyed, returns on the darkest of nights to the porch and knocks wildly at the door. And if I answer, I must be prepared for his waxy face, for his lower lip swollen with bitterness. And so for a long time I did not answer, but slept fitfully between his hours of rapping. But finally there came the night when I rose out of my sheets and stumbled down the hall. The door fell open, and I knew I was saved and could bear him, pathetic and hollow, with even the least of his dreams frozen inside him and the meanness gone. And I greeted him and asked him into the house, and lit the lamp, and looked into his blank eyes, in which at last I saw what a child must love. I saw what love might have done had we loved in time.
I'm reading from Fathers and Sons. A little peasant on a white pony was riding along the dark, narrow path near the wood. His whole figure was clearly visible, even to the patch on his shoulder, although he was in the shade. The pony's hoofs rose and fell with graceful distinctness. The sun's rays on the farther side fell full on the clump of trees, and piercing through them threw such a warm light on the aspen trunks that they looked like pines, and their leaves seemed almost dark blue, while above them rose a pale blue sky tinged by the red sunset glow. The swallows flew high, the wind had quite died down, some late bees hummed lazily among the lilac blossoms. A swarm of midges hung like a cloud over a solitary branch, which stood out against the sky. How beautiful, my God, thought Nikolai Petrovich, and his favorite verses almost rose to his lips.
I'm Martin Amis, and I'm going to read from the introductory matter of If This Is a Man by Primo Levi. The American title for the book was Survival in Auschwitz, but we'll see how important the title is in just a minute. Author's preface. It was my good fortune to be deported to Auschwitz only in 1944. That is, after the German government had decided, owing to the growing scarcity of labor, to lengthen the average lifespan of the prisoners destined for extermination. Formerly, an Auschwitz prisoner lived for 3 months, and Primo Levi lasted a year before being liberated by the Russians. And before we begin, we have his poem called If This Is a Man. He was a poet as well as a novelist. You who live safe in your warm houses, you who find returning in the evening hot food and friendly faces, consider if this is a man who works in the mud, who does not know peace, who fights for a scrap of bread, who dies because of a yes or a no. Consider if this is a woman without hair and without name, with no more strength to remember, her eyes empty and her womb cold like a frog in winter. Meditate that this came about. I commend these words to you. Carve them in your hearts, at home, in the street, going to bed, rising. Repeat them to your children. Or may your house fall apart, may illness impede you, may your children turn their faces from you.
Come anticipato, leggerò un brano della prigioniera tratto dalla ricerca del tempo perduto di Marcel Proust. Si può dire che nella nostra vita tutto si svolge come se vi entrassimo con un carico di obblighi contratti in un'esistenza anteriore. Nelle condizioni della nostra vita su questa terra non c'è ragione perché ci sentiamo obbligati a fare il bene, ad essere delicati o anche solo cortesi, o perché un artista ateo si creda in dovere di rifare 100 volte un pezzo destinato a suscitare un'ammirazione che importerà ben poco al suo corpo mangiato dai vermi. Tutti questi obblighi, i quali non trovano sanzioni nella vita presente, sembra appartengano a un altro mondo, fondato sulla bontà, lo scrupolo, lo spirito di sacrificio, un mondo interamente diverso dal nostro e di dove usciamo per nascere a questo e nel quale ritorneremo forse a vivere sotto l'imperio di quelle leggi ignote cui abbiamo obbedito perché ne richiamo in noi l'insegnamento, senza sapere chi le abbia formulate. Quelle leggi cui ci ravvicina qualsiasi lavoro profondo dell'intelligenza e che rimangono invisibili soltanto agli sciocchi e forse nemmeno a loro.